Ubisoft has finally shown off some Assassin's Creed Shadow gameplay, and it's a bit better than I thought it would be. First off, they showed off Yasuke, and my god is he a tank. He is probably our most beefed up Assassin's Creed protagonist because he is dwarfing most of the regular NPCs, which is not really common in the Assassin's Creed franchise. This could also be another reason why he isn't that useful in stealth, cause he will just stick out like a sore thumb. Plus, he is a samurai, they prefer honorable combat. I also like how the citizens are bowing to him to respect his samurai status, which helps to make this game feel a bit more immersive. Right after that, they showed off Yasuke looking for an assassination target, and I like how they don't exactly tell you where your target is and instead give you some hints to look out for. This started off in Odyssey, and I hope they manage to improve upon this aspect in this game, because it's nice to find stuff organically instead of having everything shown on the map all at once. The new assassin spice that you can get also helps in unfogging the map as well as narrowing down mission objectives, which is an interesting feature that I'm excited to see more of. It's also a way to get players to explore more since it's a limited resource. Once Yasuke finds his target, gameplay is shown off with him using a kanobo, a heavy weapon that is quite useful against heavily armored enemies as it gets rid of their armor much quicker when compared to a katana. It's also an important mechanic now as an enemy's health will now decrease a bit slower if they still have tons of armor on, so if you get rid of more of it, their health will go down faster. There will also be light indicators to inform you if you need to parry this attack or avoid it completely, a nice mechanic which shows that you will need to focus on them to shine in combat. There are also abilities that Yasuke can use to do additional damage, like him leaping into the air, very similar to the abilities from Odyssey and even Valhalla. Next off, they showed off his samurai combat with a boss, which was not bad. It shows you that you need to focus on parrying and reading your enemy's moves to get the upper hand, plus the enemies so far aren't damage sponges like how they were in Quebec's last game, Odyssey. However, I have to say that the combat doesn't look as smooth or satisfying as something like Ghost of Tsushima, which is a shame since that game came out 4 years ago. But who knows, maybe they will patch it up in a couple of months and it might feel much better when you actually get this game on your hands. After that, we had an assassination mission where we could choose who we wanted to play as. The demo chose Naoe, so let's talk about her gameplay. Her eagle vision looks much better than it was in the previous games where it was just a pulse. I kinda prefer it when they handle it like how they are handling Naoe's eagle vision, cause it's just a bit more clear. I also love the new grapple hook that can be used not only for traversal but as an assassination tool as well. It also can help in your positioning as you can use it to get to higher elevations. The cover system looks prevalent now, which is a good thing since it gives you more places to hide. I also wonder if you get to cover automatically when you get close to an object or if you have to press a button to do so like in Unity. I hope it's not completely like Unity's cover system because it was a bit janky, especially when you wanted to exit cover. We can now finally go prone, which is great as it will keep us more hidden in the grass or maybe even the snow. It will also help if the objects around you aren't tall enough to give you cover if you just crouch, so you can just go prone instead to try and combat this. But the biggest thing that makes me happy about this stealth system is them emphasizing on a new mechanic, the shadows. In this game, your visibility is reduced quite a bit when you utilize darker areas in stealth. You can even use projectiles like the kunai or shuriken to extinguish light sources to give you an advantage. You can now also close the distance quite fast with certain weapons like the kusarigama, which can help you get out of a tough situation, and it also looks quite cool. Now you can also pull enemies away to a position you want and choose to knock them out or kill them. This is quite useful as it can keep the other enemies unaware of your presence, as there will be a lower chance of them finding the dead body, which is one of the reasons why you should use this. Reminds me a bit of the kidnap feature in Syndicate. You can perform shoji assassinations which look awesome but can be quite risky if another enemy is nearby. But another way you could utilize this is to use it as a luring tool. You can also hang from the ceiling, which is great for escaping a tough situation. One-hit KOs from kunais will be possible on certain enemies as well, which was quite a common practice in the older games. The same is true with insta-kill assassinations, where it's not possible on heavily armored enemies though, but you can always toggle this off for the classic Assassin's Creed experience. The stealth swim has been upgraded greatly and now you can stay underwater for as long as you want. Kinda useful, don't you think, as you could just wait for enemies to stop looking for you or wait for them to get into a vulnerable position for you to take advantage of. Naoe's combat looks decent and the weapon she is using, the Kusari Gama, looks very good for crowd control. It also is darn cool. I wish they would have shown more of Naoe's and Yasuke's gameplay though, because if you just watch this trailer, you will be less incentivized to use Yasuke, as they showed Naoe being competent in combat as well as stealth, but they only showed Yasuke's combat. The reality is that Naoe is much more squishy when compared to Yasuke, which means combat can be quite a risk for her. As for Yasuke, stealth will be a bit more difficult for him as he's a bit too tall to crouch in certain grass patches, and his armor makes tons of noise which can attract a lot of unwanted attention. He also can't stealth swim since his armor is a bit too heavy. Both of them can't exchange certain gear as well because they have a specific playstyle which kinda makes sense for what they are going for. Despite most of the gameplay looking good, I still have some problems with it, which is why I said the gameplay only looks decent and not amazing yet. First off, there is no social stealth in this game, which is a bummer since it used to be an important part of the stealth experience in this franchise, plus Mirage had it. I would have loved to see them try to evolve social stealth, like introducing more ways to manipulate the crowd to our advantage. I was quite surprised not to see it in this game, especially since they are trying to introduce more elements into the stealth system, like the usage of shadows. Parkour hasn't been talked about that much, and it looks like they are just using the same system since Assassin's Creed Origins, which is a shame. I will say though that it definitely looks much better than Valhalla's parkour system, which was very sluggish. Another thing that's bothering me is how flat the performances from the two main characters is feeling so far, on top of the facial animations looking a bit iffy. I hope they fix the animations in the coming months, and I hope that the acting is better in the other portions of the game, cause this is just a small snippet of what's to come. Overall, I'm still decently positive about this game because of the interesting stealth system that seems to be introducing new mechanics despite social stealth being absent. The combat also seems to be going in the right direction with less spongy enemies and more of a focus on pairing. The amount of assassin gameplay focus is also a bit surprising to me since Quebec's previous game was not the most focused when it came to that topic. So yeah, I'm still looking forward to this. Definitely would like to see more though, because I feel like we're just scratching the surface of the gameplay. Anyways, what do you guys think of the gameplay so far? Feel free to share your thoughts in the comments below. And with that being said, this has been 2367 Ruben, signing out.